Hi. I was just reflecting on. It's been, I guess, about 6 weeks probably since my mother passed away. And one of the things that I really am discovering is the experiential knowing of how temporary everything is. I've discussed this a little bit, but I can't tell you how much more uh, that is obviously true for me right now. This woman was in my life for 39 years, almost every day. I mean, I talked to her all the time, and she was such a huge part of my life. And I've experienced 6 weeks of her not existing here. And that's really started to reflect to me as every person that I'm seeing at one point won't exist. And this sounds morbid and horrifying, but it only is to the ego because the ego's only here to protect life. But it's really when we get that and understand and embody and move from that death is inevitable, that we become free. We're spending so much of our life trying to protect, and we're not actually stepping into the freedom of the knowing that everything is temporary. And if you think about and know that and think everything's temporary, I'm talking about the house you live in, the things, that bank account, the things you acquired, your reputation, what people think about you, your fears, your doubts, your excitement, all these things at one point are temporary. Why is that so freeing? Why would we get attached to something and that we know we're going to lose? I'm not talking about don't have it in your life. I'm not saying don't enjoy those things. But why would we even get entangled or caught up in the gossip of, and I'm talking in a stressful way. I'm not saying don't enjoy it. If it's fun and it's a game and it's really exciting to do that, I understand that. But how many things are we attaching to that we're going to lose? And if we took on the idea that we're going to lose it, how much more would we appreciate it? How much more would you love something when you realize that it's temporary? Because that's all I've been experiencing since losing my mom, was the revelation of how much I love her. This thing in me that says anything or part of me that wanted her approval or felt any type of conflict with her or anyone else now, because all of them and all of that's temporary. None of it's going to matter eventually. So why would we get so entangled in something that doesn't matter eventually? And if you really untangle yourself from that and go to appreciating it, because it's an experience you're having right now, and the experience you're having right now is temporary, why would you not just appreciate it? Like you're visiting this planet. Like you're just here looking around and you can do anything you want. From appreciation. That is nuts. And when we think that the best thing to do is to find the thing to stress over, that's the insanity. I can think of people that I've had conflict with in the past. It won't matter at one point. So who cares? Only the mind and the temporary has conflict because it thinks that it's permanent. And it thinks that it's here to stay alive that part of you is going to die. But if you really embrace that, you would move from such a different place. Don't move from the fear that we're all going to die. Move from the freedom that's under that. Because if you're okay with death, the fact that it's inevitable, I don't mean go hurt yourself. I mean, if you're okay with the fact that death is inevitable, then you'll realize that everything you've ever stressed about is your mind tricking yourself into thinking it's going to die through different ways. What someone thinks of me is death. You know, my reputation is death. My bank account could be death. Losing a partner is death. Like having someone leave is death. So your mind is trying to do everything it can to say, even like for some people, emptying out the attic is death to your mind, right? Like letting go of some stuff that you inherited or letting go, all of that feels like death. So we hold on to it and we become these hoarders of these things that we're going to lose anyway. Because we think we're those things. And if you really let go of that, you're free. And in that freedom, those things can show up in your life because they don't run you. They aren't your requirement. I get to experience this moment. These videos will go away one day. Like everything's going to be gone one day. I get to do this. This is about my expression right now. You get to hear this right now while you have 7 other tabs open maybe. And think of how cool it is that you have this technology right now. And look at it. Like, look at what we get to do. But it's not ours like we own it. It's ours to borrow. If you think of the things in your life as something you get to borrow and have this understanding that it will leave, you'll appreciate it so much more. It's because we think we have things forever that we don't appreciate them. It's this given that you're with this person forever, so you're just like, oh, it's forever. No, you're get to spend time with this person right now. That almost hurts in the ego, but your heart opens up and you go, wow, thank you for this experience that I get to have you, get to spend with you today. I get to be with you. Thank you for this, whatever, this food that I get to eat, or that I get to spend today in a house or out in the woods or whatever. And even the woods, even nature is just to borrow. And if that's scary to you, that's fine, but eventually that'll be true to you. So you might as well make it true to you now versus wait until it's pulled from you out of the grips of the temporary and just go, wow, I get to experience anything here, and I'm here for the experience, not the ownership. I'm here for the appreciation, not the hoarding. I'm just here. And so are these other things. And who am I to say how they should be? So thanks, Mom, for reminding me how temporary this is, because she was my best friend and the most important thing in my life. And then she doesn't exist, at least the way she did. 39 years, I know nothing other than having her in my life. And for 6 weeks, I don't know where she is. And it's just becoming this feeling of like, she's memories now. The existence of her in the body is just memories. Just pictures of this person that doesn't exist here. I can't explain to you how trippy it is to experience it. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about if you've experienced it. But how trippy it is to experience someone that close to you gone. And remind you, we're renting. We don't own anything. We're renting everything. And the value of it is based on your appreciation of it. That's the value of everything in the world. Whether you think it's something terrible or something amazing, its value is based on how much you appreciate it.